Every day, we walk beneath invisible rivers of energy. Above our heads, high-voltage power lines carry enough electricity to power entire cities and enough voltage to turn a human being into a memory in a fraction of a second. Yet, look up. You'll see pigeons, crows, and sparrows sitting comfortably on these deadly wires. They preen, they sleep, they gather in groups. They are literally standing on top of 400,000 volts of raw power, and nothing happens. How is this possible? Is it because they have rubber feet? Is their biology different from ours? Or is there a secret rule of physics that they know and we often forget? Welcome to Simple Things, Surprising Histories. Today, we're decoding the mystery of the bird on the wire and discovering how humans have learned to copy this trick to survive the impossible. To understand this, we have to go back to the mid-19th century, when the very first telegraph wires were strung up across Europe and America in the 1840s and 50s. Electricity was still a terrifying, magical new technology to the general public. People were genuinely afraid that the electricity leaking from the wires would poison the air. But then they noticed something strange. Birds loved the wires. They were the perfect perch, high up, safe from predators, and offering a great view of the fields below. At the time, a myth started spreading that the birds were dying by the thousands from electric shocks. But observers quickly realized that the dead birds found below the wires hadn't been electrocuted. They had just flown into the cables by mistake. The ones sitting on the wires were perfectly fine. In 1856, a writer for the Ohio Cultivator even published a poetic story about a bird sitting on a telegraph wire, wondering if the bird could hear the messages zipping through its feet. It was the first time humanity realized that you could touch electricity and survive, if you did it right. So why don't they get fried? The answer lies in a concept called potential difference. Think of electricity like water flowing down a mountain. Water naturally wants to flow from a high point, high voltage, to a low point, low voltage. It needs that difference in height to move. When a bird lands on a single power line, both of its feet are gripping the same wire. This means both feet are at the exact same electrical potential. There is no downhill for the electricity to flow into. The electrons in the wire look at the bird, realize there's nowhere to go, no path to the ground, and simply keep zooming along the copper wire. Basically, the bird becomes just another bump on the road. The wire is a much better conductor than the bird's body, so the electricity takes the path of least resistance and ignores the bird completely. But this safety only lasts as long as the bird follows one golden rule. The rule is, don't touch two things at once. Small birds are safe because they are small. They fit easily on a single wire. But the danger creates a real problem for larger birds, like eagles, hawks, or storks. If a large bird spreads its wings and touches a second wire with a different voltage, or if its wing brushes against the wooden utility pole while its feet are on the wire, the circuit is complete. Suddenly, the bird's body becomes a bridge. The electricity sees a path from the high-voltage wire to the ground or to a lower-voltage wire, and it rushes through the bird instantly. This is why you'll often see modern power lines with wide spacing or plastic spikes on the poles, not to annoy the birds, but to keep the big ones from accidentally bridging that deadly gap. Here is the most surprising part. Humans have actually learned to copy the bird. There's a specialized job called live line working. Highly trained linemen fly in helicopters to repair high-voltage transmission lines while the power is still on. Just like the bird, the helicopter is not touching the ground. The lineman wears a special suit made of stainless steel and flame-resistant fibers, a Faraday suit. When he approaches the line, he uses a wand to bond himself to the line. For a moment, arcs of electricity jump across, and then silence. Now he is charged to 500,000 volts, just like the wire. Because he isn't touching the ground, he is safe. He is, effectively, a giant steel-woven bird. So next time you see a row of sparrows looking down at you from a power line, remember, they aren't defying the laws of physics. They're just proving that in nature, it doesn't matter how much power you have, it matters where you connect it. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of history and science. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to Simple Things for more stories about the hidden world around us. See you in the next one.